Welcome to the Garage Audit. My name is Ivan and this is Thor Media. Today we're visiting Don Michaels. He is a retired police officer in Tallmadge, Ohio, and he's got a hobby garage. It's for fun, it's for relaxation. It gets him out of the house, it gets him thinking about different things. As a retired police officer, there's a lot of stress in that job. It's stress release for him. Let's go check him out. Mr. Michaels, how are you today?
How you doing, sir?
Great. Let me get you mic'd up. There we go.
I want to make sure they hear everything I say stupidly.
Yeah, very well. So this is your man cave.
Right.
The garage, excellent. Tell me a little bit about the history of the garage and where it comes from.
I originally lived here, went from the time I was 1 year old, about 1967.
Yep.
Moved out in 87 when I got married.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out. And about 4 years later, I remarried. My parents decided to sell the house and offered it to me.
Oh, wow.
So this is where I grew up.
Excellent. So you've been in this garage all your life, basically.
Pretty
Most
much,
of it. Yeah.
It's
Excellent.
the only garage I've had my whole life.
Yeah, excellent.
You know, I've got my dad started to electrify the place. I finished it.
Yeah.
I've got some nice cheap Harbor Freight LEDs.
They do their job.
I can be out here at 2 in the morning and I can see perfectly.
Yeah, good.
So, you know, got a small air compressor.
Yeah.
Got a couple of pump sprayers from Lowe's with Schrader valves in them.
That's all you need.
I mean, they pump up to 40 psi, and I can maybe the gallon and a half of rinseless. I can take care of 2 cars almost.
Very good. What do you do for heat?
There is no heat.
There is no heat. Okay.
Yet.
Yeah, I see the air conditioner. Is that for the summer?
No, that's just we got central air in the house. And
okay.
We haven't figured out what to do with that yet.
Okay.
But there for the summer, there's the ancient furnace fan.
Yeah. Okay. Just keeps air moving.
Yeah. If I keep that window open,
all right,
and the 2 side ones closed, it makes a nice circular draft in here.
Okay. Good.
But I'm going to put a rheostat on it so I can turn it down instead of being at full blast.
Yeah. Good.
But I mean, I put some shelves up.
Yeah.
Built a shelf.
Good.
My new Pride and Joy came last week.
Good.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I've only used it at speed 2.
Okay.
Very quiet, very balanced.
Good.
I mean, a whole lot better than this 25-year-old Porter cable.
Yeah, well, I'd like to excuse myself for that. I'm the one it's my fault that exists. So.
Well, it was my first foray into the machine polishing.
Yeah, no, it does a good job. It's loud, it vibrates, and
it's great for gloss.
Yeah.
But if you want to try correction, you're going to be doing it a long time.
Yeah, you have to be patient.
Went ahead, I got the 2 batteries. They're marked, so in case there's ever an issue, I don't have to hunt and decide which battery was going bad.
Right. Good.
But I even got my rubber gloves after watching you and Nick.
Good. Excellent.
One thing I did do differently is instead of a standard trigger sprayer,
yeah,
I've got this with rinseless.
Yeah. Yeah, the double acting triggers. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice, and I've also got quick beads in one.
Okay.
It's a nice light coverage, gets everywhere. It's a lot more consistent than a trigger sprayer.
Yeah, 100%.
So go around the rims. I actually use less.
Yeah.
It comes out in a fine mist, gets everywhere without using as much product.
Right. So how did you get into detailing?
I worked at a car wash when I was 16.
Okay.
And there was just something about these dirty cars coming in,
yeah,
hitting them with the high pressure hose and watching the dirt just fade away. It was almost like my version of a disaster detail.
Yeah.
You'd come in, you'd get the visual of blowing the dirt off of it, and it goes out clean.
Yes.
Back then, I only knew clean and dirty.
Right.
And then I got a job at a mid-level detailing shop.
Yeah.
We used the old gem orbitals, the big aluminum case.
Yeah, yeah. The 16 or the 20 pound?
16.
Okay, yeah. So it was gray?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And that's where I got bit.
Yes.
And I started from there. I ended up buying one for my own use. The owner there was a good guy. I learned a lot, but he was stuck on lacquer and single stage paints.
Yeah.
and that was in the late 80s. The clear coats was just coming into being,
Yes.
and you can't treat a clear coat like you do a lacquer.
No, no. Completely different substrate.
When he started burning cars and still insisting he was correct, it was time for me to go.
Yeah.
So I just, that was pre-internet. So it was all reading magazines. I bought a book, Ultimate Auto Detailing by somebody.
Yeah.
And they advocated using steel wool on some of the painted sections of the car, like the edges of the door lips,
Yeah.
where they're really bad.
Yeah, I remember
Dawn.
that. Yeah.
And so that's all I had.
Yeah.
Between that and how to do lacquer, and then finally 10, 15 years later, the internet shows up.
Yes.
And my mind just blew. It's just about a year ago, I discovered DIY.
Okay.
And I was always scared to death of the rotary. I'd used one once.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I always thought it was high speed or nothing.
Back then, we only had, so the cheap machines had 1 speed and the more expensive machines had 2. Fast and way too fast.
Right.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying, because my car was horrible, so I ended up buying one that had the speed dial.
Yeah.
And I was still scared of it. I thought you were supposed to use it on 6.
Yeah.
But I dialed it down to about 4.
Right.
Because my car had sat at a shop and it got some kind of contamination on all the vertical or the horizontal panels. The DA wouldn't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
It did, but I went out the next morning and it was back.
Yeah.
Mineral contamination.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about water spot remover or anything else. So I went at it with the rotary.
Yeah.
Speed 4, and I got it back, fortunately, without burning.
Yeah, excellent.
And then like I said, not quite a year ago, I discovered DIY.
Mm-hmm.
Saw you saying, well, no, you don't use a rotary on 6, you use it on 1. I'm like, okay. I had a General Electric rotary.
Yeah.
With the big basket underneath the handles, and it does the same thing that the most cordless polishers do. The battery comes too close to the paint.
Yeah.
The handle came too close to the paint.
Yeah.
So I picked up another Harbor Freight Warrior.
Yeah, they're a good little tool.
I run it on speed 1, sometimes speed 2 if the DA I had wasn't cutting correct enough.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time this was touched was with the rotary, the yellow pad, and the gold standard polish.
Yeah, good.
I just went over it. No, it wasn't the gold pad. It was the jeweling pad.
Yeah, the red pad. Yeah.
I just needed to clean it up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got ceramic gloss, and I'm waiting for Hydrolite.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful condition. So
not bad. It's 8 years old with 87,000 miles.
Excellent.
And I still have them thinking it's a 2020.
Yeah, that's good. Couldn't ask for more than that.
No.
No. Now, what keeps you interested in detailing?
The stress relief.
Yeah. Okay. What's your other career?
I'm retired.
Okay, and before that?
I was a police officer for 30-some years in the inner city projects.
That's a lot of stress.
Yes. Yeah. And it was during the latest time where defund the police, all police are evil.
Yes.
I was done.
Right.
Fortunately, I got out, and it was just this past December that I had the epiphany, like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that anymore.
Good.
I come out. This morning when I found out you were coming, my car was filthy, so I panicked. Came out, did a rinseless.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, you just did a video recently, or semi-recently, how you can apply ceramic gloss with the red jeweling pad.
Yes.
Well, I'm like, well, what about those foam UFO pads?
Yeah.
Worked out fantastic.
Yeah.
Couple little bumps on the trigger.
Right.
A little bit of spit.
Yeah.
Massage it in, do the car, come around with a microfiber, and that's what you get.
Yeah, get a super glossy Camaro.
I don't think the Hydrolite will make it any glossier, but it'll keep it that way longer.
Yes, 100%.
So
good. What are your hang-ups with the shop? What things would you like to see changed?
Heat.
Heat? Yeah.
Yes, heat.
Yeah.
Really, I'm small time. I'm a hobbyist.
Yeah.
It would be nice to be able to come here in the winter to clean them up, but there's a touchless, not even a mile down the road,
okay,
between me and Summit Racing Equipment.
Yeah.
So when it gets bad, I drive through the touchless with the undercarriage spray.
Yeah, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
And sometimes I've cheated. I've done that. Is instead of the chemical rinse chemical, I go through the touchless,
Yeah.
get the chemical rinse done, come back, and then do a contact with rinseless.
Yeah, perfect. Nice way of doing it.
And since it's less than a mile away, there's not much chance of a lot of crud getting stuck on the paint. Any light dusting, that hose down with rinseless will take care of it.
Yeah, perfect. So, what I can see for this shop as well is the same thing. You need some form of heating, cooling.
Yes.
Some insulation wouldn't be a bad thing. And, eventually painting the walls white. But like you said,
Yes.
your father is the one who built this garage. So there's a bit of
Nostalgia.
Yeah, there's nostalgia and there's a bit of history in each one of these 2x4s. So
some of this wood is from him.
Yeah.
He used to have a boat frame hanging from this.
Okay.
He was going to build a boat.
Yeah. Built the frame and that's as
He
far
built
as you
the
got.
frame and that's as far as he got.
Yeah.
But I put the electric in, and I'm using his old fan to cool the place off when it gets too hot in the summer.
Right.
He put that board in there, and it still works to this day with my current cars.
Okay.
Pull up, front tire hits it, you're in perfectly.
Excellent.
So I mean, I'm content with what I've got.
Excellent. That's the important thing. A lot of people want to have the ultimate man cave and have it, spec'd out by OG or something like that. It's not always what's necessary.
No.
You can
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, you can have fun in here. Your car is beautiful. It's nice and clean. You're able to enjoy the time you spend here.
Yes.
Yeah, having a bit of heat might extend that a little bit to different parts of the year.
Yeah, I did. I actually came out here one time and detailed it when it's 30 degrees.
That's a little cold.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
When your protectant starts freezing on the fender, it's time to go back inside.
Yeah. So, one garage we recently visited, they just had a Ryobi diesel-powered, or propane-powered, salamander.
Okay.
So, like the construction heaters?
Yes.
But it was battery-powered.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
my wife almost got me a gas heater for Christmas.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'd have to rearrange stuff and make room.
Yeah.
Because the only open spot is here, but if that's here, how do you get in? Because the door's right there.
Right, exactly.
So but first is getting rid of this 70-year-old gravel driveway. Hopefully this summer we'll be getting concrete.
Okay, nice.
That way I get one of those little brushes that attaches to the hose and the pressure washer and get the undercarriage that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult with a bumpy, dippy gravel.
Yeah, and a gravel driveway serves its purpose, but replacing a concrete's quite a big investment.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's you've got a number of years left in this house, so it'll be worth the investment for you.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, excellent. And you've got a windbreak on the side there.
That was for the neighbors who had Chihuahuas. They've since moved, but the windbreak is still there.
Good. That helps.
And I mean, I've got the fence here on the outside of the garage, so this is the only bad drawback right now is they're doing construction in back, and they've got a huge mortar mixer.
Okay.
Well, they've got these bags of mortar that are bigger than me.
Yeah.
Lift them up with a crane, dump them in, and dust everywhere.
A cloud of dust, yeah.
Yes.
So you normally keep the Camaro in the garage?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's a daily driver, kind of.
Yes.
When I drive it.
Right.
But being retired, I don't have to drive.
No, you don't have to go anywhere.
No, of course. And then when I do, I usually take her car.
Okay.
I just did that one with the 8-year.
Yeah.
I found 2 high spots.
Okay.
One I took care of within 2 to 3 hours. It took a little bit of app to get it off. Then reapplied the coating with a Q-tip, just a little bitty area.
Yeah.
And I found another one yesterday, a little farther down on the door. What it was, it's not so much a high spot as it was a drip.
Okay.
Because when I got up to do the roof on the ladder, I put it on the applicator and
it dripped out.
Something got the side of the door. But so it's been about 36 hours now, and the car's dirty, so I can't do anything to it yet.
No, so after the first wash, you'll be able to do the same thing. Not with the app this time, but with the gold standard polish.
Got that sitting right there.
Yeah, to be able to wipe it down. How'd you like using the app?
It was weird. I mean, I did what you suggested, 3 drops in varying spots.
Yeah.
So I would cover the whole
pad.
and I don't think I used half an ounce for the whole car.
No, most people get at least 40 cars out of a bottle.
And then you always said that ceramics are easier than waxes.
Yes.
You're not kidding.
No.
Granted, I tried to use it a little too thin, but once I got the hang of it,
Yeah.
because that's my first ever real ceramic coating.
Okay.
Once I got the hang of it and figured out how to keep the sponge from popping out of my hand, even
Yes.
with the strap,
Right.
it self-leveled.
Yes.
Between the app and the small amount I was using,
Yeah.
even the first level was almost pointless.
Yeah.
I went ahead and did the first, and then took the second towel for the insurance wipe, just
Right.
because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
But, I mean, I can't describe how easy it is.
Yeah.
If you can do a wax, most definitely you can do the coating.
Yeah, no. People have this impression, and this is through marketing, this is through old coatings, that it was such a difficult thing to do.
UV lights and this
Yeah.
and heat and nothing at all for a week.
Yeah.
No, this stuff, an hour after, or 3 hours after it was done, it was out driving in the rain.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes.
It's the way it's designed to be. So.
And now I'm going crazy because it's dirty.
Yeah. Not a problem. You'll be able to clean it eventually. But yeah, give it a week before you wash it. It's good practice for a coating. It allows it to finish curing. It's not the surface you're going to damage. It's actually the bond between the coating and the paint.
Right.
Because of pressure. It's not surfactants have a part of it in the first day or two.
Right.
After that, it's pressure against if you're using the legacy sponge, it's not that big of a deal. If you're using a traditional wash media like a mitt.
That's the old wash mitt. It hasn't been used in over a year.
Okay.
Behind Sophie over there.
Yeah.
I forgot to get a legacy and they were out of stock at the time, so I got the original.
Yeah.
The USS.
Yeah.
And I should have got the legacy, but that still works fine.
Yeah, still works. So good. Excellent. With that, we're going to say thank you to Don. Now, you're not a professional detailer, so you don't have a website, you don't have anything like that.
No.
But you can find him, and he writes a lot on our Facebook group, the DIY Detail Facebook group. Very prolific, always there to help someone else, which is always, part of that group, what it's for.
Which I like, yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Don.
Thanks, Ivan.
And we're going to go to the bus, give him his report card. It's a great visit with Don. Don is the consummate hobbyist. He likes to have fun. It's a relaxation for him. No, his garage isn't perfect. No, it's not the Taj Mahal of garages. It's exactly what he wants. It's exactly what he needs. So don't think that you have to have the perfect garage to be able to detail. Speaking of garages, if you would like me to give you a garage audit, please reach out to Jamie at the House of Rags. We'll be happy to do so. And in the meantime, have fun. We'll see you in the next garage audit.